Good. It sounds like you understand this really well. Let me ask you though, how well do you feel like you understand this?
I feel I'm a little rusty, but I have the intuition. Like I
You know,
studied
so
quite well
don't,
for these.
we don't we don't want intuition. We want knowledge of what's physically happening. That's what we want. And
True.
now once you have that knowledge, it might feel intuitive, and
Hmm.
that's good. I'm glad it feels intuitive for you. But really, like nature doesn't care about our intuitions. Nature
True.
just is the way that it is. Like I think the reason the word intuition gets thrown around is because of the following attitude that physicists have. The attitude is you're never going to understand the cause and effect relationships going on here.
Hmm.
Nature's absurd. It's complicated. You're just never going to understand it. The best you can do is to form this picture that conforms to your human biases and feelings. Now, that picture has nothing to do with reality, but at least it helps you remember how to solve the problems. That's the perspective that this word intuition, you've probably heard the word get used a lot by your professors or on YouTube channels, and not everyone using that word means it with that like full corrupted context. Like, dialect on YouTube. You've seen dialect videos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Really good physics videos. He uses the word intuition at times. Like, he obviously doesn't mean it in that fully corrupted sense,
Hmm.
but but that's its origin. And to the degree we use the mainstream concepts that are corrupted, we are participating in that corrupted kind of thinking to a certain degree, not to the same degree they are, of course. But
Mm.
the way to fully break free from the mainstream um, is to use the terminology differently. Just as objectivists need to stop using the word selfish in the way that other people use that word,
Hmm.
we need to start using words like intuition, locality. Uh, a lot of different words need to just be. We need to use them differently.
Yeah.
Is how that's going to work.
You
Um,
know,
yeah.
what you
So
described to me just now, like that's the mentality of someone uh, who has to complete an 8 hour assignment in 4 hours. Like it'll get done somehow. I'll not understand it, but it needs to get done. You know, but that doesn't
yeah.
lead to actual knowledge. That just leads to, you know, subpar, approximate maybes. You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't lead to
And
perfect physics. Hmm.
yeah, the reason you're being given that much work is because your professors, I mean, if your professors in India are anything like they are in America, which they probably are, but I don't know. But if it's anything like it is in America, then your professors, um, they think that being able to do the problems is really the only sign of understanding it. Because trying to like probe the student in the way that I do by asking questions, probing the student for their actual understanding of the experiments and how that leads to an understanding of the actual cause and effect relationships that man can infer from those experiments, that's just way too hard. Uh, I mean, at least, I mean, I don't know if it's too hard, but basically, the way I do it is by asking the student questions, and it is hard to figure that out. And in general, the education system has not come up with some kind of way to test for actual understanding. And as a result, and then further, because they have this corrupted view of what it means to understand this stuff, they don't think you can actually understand the observations and inferences that allow us to know that these fields actually exist with certainty. Because they don't believe in all of that, they don't recognize a difference between bullshitting your way through it and like getting the right answer over and over again and truly understanding the reasoning that led from the observation to the understanding of fields that we have today. And for my own part, when I was in college, I spent almost all my time trying to decipher the physical meaning of this, and there was very little time left over for the math. And I thought, and I stuck true to the idea that the way to understand the math was to understand that physical meaning. But I was on my own. I had to do it all myself. So part of our purpose today is to convey, or I mean, I don't know, over the course of our sessions is going to be to convey all of my knowledge that I've accumulated in understanding the true physical meaning of this stuff, convey that knowledge to you quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That is our that's our purpose.
Mm.
So that's really good. It sounds like you understand this really well.